Hey guys, Luca here. In this video I'm going to talk about the brutal truth about landing page analytics nobody tells you and how to avoid the common pitfalls. In particular, I wanted to talk about a service called Microsoft Clarity. It's basically a behavior analytics that helps owners to see users interact with their sites through session recordings, heat maps, and frustration metrics. If you think about Google Analytics, it's more like a quantitative of understanding what percentage of traffic drops off at what stage, but Clarity is a bit more unique in the sense that it lets you see the recordings and actually understand whether the contents of your website or landing page is useful for the people, for the traffic, and how the user behaves on it. It's pretty important, I think, because it can help you a lot to understand whether you need one block or another, or what are the dead ends. And I just wanted to talk about some issues with it and how careful you have to be when analyzing it. All right. So let's go to Clarity and I will show you the example of what I mean. Okay, so this is the Clarity session of the landing page that we're going to discuss today. Here you can see the average metrics, right? The scroll depth, the active time spent, page session, and the total of sessions with the 500 bot excluded. What was my goal for this analysis is to figure out what are the people which are highly engaged are doing and why they're not submitting the form. In order to do that, I wanted to filter out the segments by these filters. So let's go. First of all, we are filtering by page scroll depth, is meaning that we're filtering for users who scrolled 80% of the page and more, because the main submit form field is at the bottom of the 80%. Let's set it up. Then smart events. I want to exclude all of the people who submitted the form because they already submitted and we don't really need to figure out why they did not. Then we're going to go to session duration. Here my analysis was that I want to understand people which actually spend time there and reading, because there's a lot of education there. It can be useful for advertorials as well. Let's click minimum 5 minutes. All right, applied. Page duration, it doesn't matter if we have one page because it's a landing page. That's it. Let's apply. If you see now, we have only 150 sessions. Pages per session is 1 on average because we have only one page. The scroll depth is 96%. It looks very good, right? If we go to recordings now, which is pretty important and what I wanted to discuss with you, we have 152 results. Every single, if you see the duration is 7 minutes, clicks, durations. On the surface, these analytics are pretty good. You can see that your page is performing, your page is doing everything good, right? Scrolling. But if you take a look closer, there's something interesting happening. Duration 7 minutes and 0 clicks. What does it mean? 60 minutes, 0 clicks. Let's scroll more. Clicks 2, clicks 0. First of all, we understand that something is weird going on. That why user is spending 40 minutes and 0 clicks. Let's take a look at anybody who did not make any clicks. This is the recording of the session duration. It's the landing page on German. What is he doing? He's scrolling, and then something interesting happened. You see, black screen appeared, and this means that the user left. So basically he collapsed the window, and this is the artifact, meaning that he actually did not spend 5 minutes. In the analytics, it says after about 57 seconds the page was hidden, the user switched tabs, and no further navigation or interactive occurred. So we can see if there's a 0 click, and duration can be very misleading. Let's try add a filter with a 1 click count. Minimum clicks 1, apply. How many now we have? We have only 35 results. Now we are analyzing the hottest leads, right? So not the leads, the traffic, which clicked at least once. All right, and you see 28 minutes duration, 37 minutes duration, 2 hours. Something is interesting in this case, because at the first time when I was analyzing it, I was pretty stoked of like, we've built a very good page. It's a very informative, it educates well. All of these people, they scroll past 80%. So if you see in the filters here, session duration more than 5 minutes, exclude smart events, and the page scroll 80%. But these people, they did not submit forms. So what I did is I literally went to every single one. First of all, looked at the recording when it was available and copied session insights by AI, which I've tried to synthesize with another AI. If you see around like 4 minutes, they clicked on Range Rover autobiography listing. It's a car business landing page. And shortly after engaged with a call to action about learning potential savings, the page was hidden. At 4, remained inactive until the session ended nearly 29 minutes later, suggesting the interruption or loss of engagement. Let's go to another one just to save your time. What it means, right? Most of the analysis was literally this. The page was hidden at 9:45 and remained inactive. The whole issue was that people were coming to the landing page, right? They scrolled to 80%. However, the big sessions, more than 5 minutes, right? It was a fuss. It was a fuss because most of the people in these more than 5 minute sessions, they just collapsed the window and somehow the recording captured it. In actuality, potentially the quality of the landing page was not very good, or at least you could not really infer anything from the clarity here, because if you want to analyze the page scroll depth, right, so 80%, it's a very enticing, it's a very high quality segment to analyze. However, if we see at the face value, it's okay, but if we dig deeper, it's pretty bad. You see, people are just like scrolling and the session is 2 hours, right? But nothing is happening here. Like, let's scroll here. It's hidden, but somehow the recording is being made. That's a pretty how I say, a strange way from the clarity, and you have to really take it with a grain of salt, but it's still useful at some point, right? You just have to be clever about it. Analytics is pretty useful, right? Especially if we have funnel analysis like in GA4. If we go and analyze the funnel, like we can see the stage drop-offs, etc., and analyze at what stage everything is performing well or not. But in the qualitative analysis, especially for landing pages, can be really misleading. As I showed you, the scroll depth can be a fuss, session duration can be a fuss as well. Here's the part nobody tells you. Your ads manager will never show you any of this. It stops the second someone clicks. Everything you just watched happens after that on the page where almost nobody looks. The page got built once and left alone, and the numbers were quietly saying it was fine when it wasn't. That's the half of the whole thing that never gets tested. Same ads, same spend, a page that actually works instead of the one that just looks busy, and you get more out of the other end. That's what I make these videos about. Hope this helps. Stay tuned.